I had a conversation with a friend. She was about to commit suicide, and our 4-year-old son caught her.
In edits, when we in edit post, I was like, damn, I came into this thing like, I'm about to do something great. I'm about to change it. I'm about to change the film industry and short film as we know it in Nigeria. Let's go. And I was editing, and I was like, yo, you did rubbish, man.
I would say that the major challenge I had was an actor working out on me.
What indie filmmakers are doing with short films, it's an opportunity to showcase art in the most purest form.
All right, hello, welcome everyone, and welcome to the Filmjoint Premieres Roundtable discussion. And I'm here with some of our top 10 finalists, and we're here to discuss their films. I'll just let them introduce themselves, tell us about yourself.
My name is Adekunle, production designer, film director.
Hi, my name is Adeyeri, director, colorist.
Wow. Hi, my name is Korede, Soyinka, director and an actor.
My name is Kongs Shamaki, well, just like King Kong or Hong Kong with an S. And I'm the writer, producer, and director of the short film, The Veil.
My name is Gregory Waite, and I'm the writer and director of BUNUELESQUE.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is John Paul, and I am the writer, the producer, and the actor for my martial arts action drama film, DOJO.
Hi everyone, my name is Nsubuga, a filmmaker from East Africa, Uganda, and I'm so excited to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Doyinsola Ajayi, and I am the director of MAKI.
So thank you very much everyone for joining us. These are some of the people that that are available to us. Some are out of the country, some are making money somewhere else in Nigeria.
We are not making money.
So it's a privilege for you guys to honor us and have this discussion with us. So moving on quickly, just to start off, I think the first thing I'll just ask, and I'll start from my right hand side with Blue, and is how does it feel to have your film, recognized amongst the best? Because Filmjoint, we had films from all over the world and hundreds of films, and to be top 10 means that your film is really good. So how does it feel?
Really basic answer is it feels very, very great. When you set out to make a film, it's your hope as a filmmaker that it gets the attention, it gets recognized, and even maybe get in places that is regarded as a top film for a short film. So I saw it, I was like, yeah, great, dream come true.
Yeah, so to have my film recognized as in the top 10 of the Filmjoint Festival really feels amazing and really reassures the hard work that I'm putting to making the film. And I'm super excited to see where it can go next.
I am super excited to have my film to be listed among the best by the Filmjoint. And this is a testament that my film is going to go on to a much larger audience, and a very important one at that. And I am optimistic that having my film on platforms such as this will announce me in the industry.
Honestly, knowing that MAKI is part of the top 10 films has been so surreal. I didn't see it coming. I applied for this ages ago, sometime last year, and I kind of forgot about it. And just seeing MAKI recognized with other amazing short films has been so surreal. I'm very happy and I'm very excited.
It really feels so great for my film to be recognized among the best. From the time that I got the news that I was actually part of the Filmjoint, it has been a great experience. So yeah, it shows potential for my film and that people have loved it. So it feels great.
To see that my film made it to top 10 is very, very unreal. Like, I don't know how I really feel. I just know it's very unreal to me at the moment.
All right. Thank you very much. Korede.
It's very unreal to us. Anyways, it feels good, really good. The fact that there were so many films on the list to be selected and my film made it to top 10. Feel good means we did something right in making the film. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So we have 3 films here and that is we have Man and Masquerade by Blue, we have Dear Men by Dami, and then we have Better Place by Korede. So these are really, really awesome films. Can you tell us a bit about the inspiration behind your short film, Korede?
Oh, you started with me now. All right, beautiful. I remember before making this film, I had a conversation with a friend, a lady. I remember she telling me that she was about to commit suicide, and her 4-year-old son caught her before she could do it in the midnight. I remember she said the boy took the knife and held on to the knife till morning. So I didn't want to shoot it like that. So basically the inspiration behind it is the story she told me. And if you see Better Place, it's just a story that tells us how we should be cautious of our words and our actions when we are with kids. That's all.
Okay, so MAKI was inspired by true events, and it really just tells the story about a woman who did not marry a man of her choice and married, a man of her father's choice. And he explores things like religion, betrayal, healing, forgiveness. And I really just sort of wanted to explore that more, especially the religious aspect, because I don't see a lot of that being portrayed. And I really, really just wanted to show that in my film and just essentially like show different sides of religion and how religion is such a huge part of our daily lives. But it was inspired by a true story of someone very close to me, actually.
This film was inspired by certain true stories. Being a product of a religious society myself, I have come to know and to see how much power religious authority or religious leaders yield. And often at times, this authority is abused. So this film has a theme of abuse of authority in religious circle. I have seen how a lot of people have been enslaved in religious circles. So this film is aimed at giving like a wake-up call to my audience to kind of give them a food for thought and to say, hey, you don't have to be a slave, whether it's physically or spiritually or mentally, to any pastor or a religious leader. So this is what it is about. And I love it when people watch the film and they get the aha moment and the wow, I never saw that coming. So this is one of the things the film has.
I was inspired to make this film because knife crime is a subject matter that is particularly close to me. As someone that's personally been affected by knife crime, living in London, I noticed that often it doesn't get portrayed in a positive way. We see a lot of gang dramas like Top Boy that have had global success around the world, but often the characters in these dramas are depicted kind of glorified in the wrong way. So I wanted to kind of spin the kind of gang narrative on its head and show a side to these characters that often we don't see in mainstream film and television, and kind of touch the more cultural, African and intergenerational backgrounds of these characters, and kind of show that these characters they don't have to be gangsters, they can be something more positive.
BUNUELESQUE itself is inspired by directors like Louis Buñuel and David Cronenberg, so I hope audiences enjoy the references to them. But it's also narratively a dark tale of wealth and inequality and the human consequences of that. So I hope audiences would recognise and respond to those themes and perhaps even talk about them afterwards.
Our film is about not only martial arts, but it's about spirituality. It's about showing a little bit of human nature, human emotion, and rising above our obstacles, using martial arts as a tool to convey that expression. I myself have been doing judo for the past almost 30 years now. It's been quite some time. So I wanted to use what I do best and to create a story that the audience can connect to, that we can put together a message to the world, something that is relevant in our everyday lives. And I believe that through this film, we were able to accomplish that.
My short film TAAMA was inspired from a story that I had with a friend. It's a story that actually happened in real life. It's based on real life events. But then, for a very long period of time, I have really wanted to create a film that blends different genres. So when you watch the film, it has a bit of drama, then a bit of thriller. I picked the story that I had from a friend, then I adapted it into a script. And then I also added some creative juices that I had onto it to make it a nice piece of art.
So, Dami, what was your inspiration behind your short film, Dear Men?
So for me, Dear Men, it's a very controversial film. And I would say that it came from my friends and how they've had so many experiences with married men. I would say that because we're in a society where they judge a lady and then they commend the man. So I wanted the story to be flipped in a way that I want the man to suffer for what he has done while the girl dies. And I wanted the man to sort of pay for it, pay for infidelity in a way. Like I wanted infidelity to be paid for because the society only commends the man and then they reprimand the woman. So I needed that. I needed that in my story. And yeah, that was what brought Dear Men.
I feel scared right now.
Damn you, wow.
All right. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see that. I think you even give us a spoiler when you were talking about, but let's until we watch it. All right, so Blue.
All right, so I'll try not to give any spoilers to it's difficult to be talking about your film. So Man and Masquerade, I made Man and Masquerade, and firstly, I wanted to make an artistic film. That's one thing. I was very intentional about it. It did not just happen by chance. Then the other one was, okay, the message. And normally, the story is about abuse. Not about abuse, but it kind of like talk about that theme, mental abuse and physical abuse. And naturally, when you want to tell the story, when you want to talk about this subject matter, you just naturally gravitate towards saying it from the woman's perspective, that she's the one being beaten or she's the one going through this. And I was like, all right, it would be really, really nice to flip it in a way that not to just flip it for flipping sake, but to understand the other gender. Because I'm a female and I needed to understand, what it would be as a man with so much heavy expectation, and maybe like people say praised in the society. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, but there must be something that they go through, and I wanted to explore it. And I remember when I was telling a story about abuse from the angle that the men were the victim, it became experimental because then I realized that damn, I don't even know how to direct this. I don't even know, do men cry? Do they feel this type of pain? I remember always asking everybody that, wait, is this real? Like, okay, if a man that's is beaten by his wife, how will he react? Will he cry? Will he still? So if I was going to tell a story about it being a woman, I have so much options, so much material to pick from as a director. I can watch one feature film, I have so much things, but I struggled to even direct it. So I was like, and then there's a problem because men actually go through this thing, but we don't actually talk about it. There's no materials out there. That's why it's even difficult for me to even see. So it was experimental in terms of having to even direct it. And I was okay happy that also I took the approach of it being artistic, it's very cultural, and it just made the film Man and Masquerade, and I'm glad it came out the way it came out.
Nice. I think your films should merge together or something. There's some flip about your two films. Thank you very much for that. And I think moving on now, we'll talk about is worth it to have inspiration. Inspiration can come from God and everything, but I'm sure there were challenges along the way. So what would you say were the challenges that you faced, when filming or during the process? Let's start with you now. Yeah.
So, like I said in my previous answer, struggling to even direct it. The story I wrote, though, that I said I wanted to direct, though, because of course, not enough material to draw from. Another one was definitely budget. There is what you want and what you get because of the amount of money you have. I think limitation is the foundation for what they call innovation. So that also helped along the way, but it was a limitation at the time. It was a problem at the time. And then was my first short film as a director. It was my debut short film. So there was, of course, all those anxiety of, okay, am I going to communicate my ideas? Am I going to, get everybody on the crew to want it as much as I want it? That was there. That was also a struggle. We planned to shoot 2 days. We ended up shooting 3. So we needed to even raise money for reshoot because we made so many rookie mistakes. Everything that you will make every mistake you make as a first-time director, I made it. And I had to pay for it. So that was there, and yeah, I think those were one I can remember off the top of my head.
Would you say it was a situation of what you ordered versus what you got, or you got what you ordered?
To be honest, I think that film made itself. In edits, when we in edit post, I was like, damn. I came into this thing like, I'm about to do something great. I'm about to change it. I'm about to change the film industry and short film as we know it in Nigeria. Let's go. And I was editing, and I was like, yo, you did rubbish, man. But thankfully I had like a team of people that were like, no. They saw some good in what I didn't see. So my expectation was not what I was seeing in the edits, but they were saying it. I don't know why that happened. And I thank God that I still continued, editing it and moving on. But it was definitely not the best experience.
So yeah, it was obviously a really tough film to make, quite ambitious project. The first sort of stumbling block was, of course, financing the film. We put a budget together. We quickly realized that, our initial budget of around £10,000 wasn't quite going to cut it. So, halfway through the production process, we actually had to raise funds again through crowdfunding, which helped. And obviously I had to kind of put a lot more of my own savings into the project. So the finance part was definitely a problem. Other than that, it was mainly kind of scheduling. So getting all my crew and cast available at the same time was challenging. A lot of my cast and crew were working other jobs, part-time jobs and stuff like that. And a lot of my cast were in much bigger TV productions. So I had to kind of compete with their schedules and kind of work around their schedules. So definitely prolonged the production period. We initially planned to make the film in about a year. It ended up taking 2 years in production just because of having to kind of work around other people's schedules. And then another problem would probably be the access to locations. Shooting in London and especially exterior locations is really difficult to get sort of permits and finding the right environment to get the right sound and the right look. So yeah, that was definitely sort of 3 of the biggest challenges, I'd say, in making JUJUMAN.
I had a panic attack. Yeah, true story. I did have a panic attack when shooting MAKI. I was really stressed, very, very stressed at the time. And yeah, I kind of panicked. But to be honest, I had a good support system around me. I had a couple of my friends who were part of the crew. And that was also very encouraging. And also, managing a team is not always very easy. But again, I had a really, really good support system around me, and they helped me get through that. So, yes.
So the challenges that we normally have as startup filmmakers, budget. But how I faced the challenge of budget was to talk to people and, and pitch to them my project. So what I did was I wrote the script, Then I came to Swangs Avenue. That's where I work from. You know, it's a big production house here in Uganda. And amazingly, they love the story. So they come on board to help me shoot this film.
We shot this film during the pandemic, under COVID conditions, and raised money during the pandemic as well, both of which were very challenging. But we had a small, dedicated team who worked incredibly hard. And when you're recognised and seen at festivals like Filmjoint, that makes all of that effort worthwhile. So thank you so much for that.
One of my challenges producing this film, because it is a period piece, it required us to get the costumes right, the locations and the props of something that will look like the 70s and the 80s, and also to depict the world we're trying to create. This is more like a figurative world as opposed to a physical one. It just represents our state of mind in the church, because the church and Christianity is a religion that was brought to Africa, and the people who brought it made us think like them, dress like them, believe like them, and even look like them. So this is a symbolism of that thing they've done to our mind. Yes. And another challenge is finding the costume and finding the location and the props was a big challenge, but we were able to get it. We went to the market, we scouted a lot of locations, a lot, and finally we got a place that gave us something close to what we were expecting. And I'm glad the film came out really, really well.
All right. So moving on to Dami, what challenges did you face?
I had a few challenges. It wasn't as much as I expected it to be, because surprisingly for me, I was lucky. I got a lot of help. I had people to help me make my film. It helped in terms of technical, in terms of my DOP, in terms of my producer. Like, people were willing to help me. So my challenges were very minimal. I would say that the major challenge I had was an actor working out on me. That was like the major challenge I had. And this destabilized me, because I remember seeing like there's a particular scene that if I watch that scene, I'm always cringing, because I wanted to do so many things to those scenes, but I couldn't, because the actor walked out and I was destabilized, and I had to cast somebody almost immediately. So I would say that that was like my biggest challenge on that set.
So I want to ask the same question. Was it a situation of what you ordered versus what you got? How was it? The outcome?
I don't know how to answer that question.
You thank God.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
I have to ask another question too far.
Yes. What are the challenges that you faced?
Honestly, I don't mean to sound proud or arrogant. She was on my set when we were shooting. I think I had prepared for whatever it was that we were going to do that day. I had prepared enough. I would say I had prepared enough. So I won't lie. The only challenge we had was time. Because I shot my film in one day. We started and we finished around, I think, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., midnight. So I won't really say I had a challenge. Like, I had people on set, like she said earlier, I had people that believed in the project so much, just the way as I believed in the project. So the only challenge was time. That's all.
Oh, so that means what you ordered is what you got.
Honestly, what I pictured in my head was what I got.
Wow. I think we need a clap.
Oh, stop it.
All right.
So if I was to describe the feeling of potentially being chosen as a top 5 filmmaker for this festival, and to condense that into one word, I would say proud.
And if I could sum up what it means to be selected at a festival like Filmjoint, well, dream come true is 3 words, so I'd have to simply say astonishing.
For my film to just be selected for the Filmjoint was really a great opportunity. I was like, okay, now, it's so amazing that my piece of art is also being recognized on a more broader market now than the one that we are in here in Uganda. It is something that I believe that it's going to change. It's going to put an impact on my career, and I feel it's also going to be a message of hope for people who are like me, like startup filmmakers here in East Africa, Uganda. I feel like the impact will be more inclined on me, the filmmaker, because all that we all look for is to make films that cut across, not just here on the local market, but also films that tap into other markets.
I think the word is nervous. I've been trying so hard not to, keep up with the announcements. And I've just kind of like been shocked throughout the whole process, from, I think it was top 25 to top 10, I don't remember, but, top 10, I'm like, wow, okay, we're here. And then top 5. I'm very nervous, but I'm really hoping for the best. I mean, there's so many amazing short films that MAKI is with. And if MAKI doesn't make top 5, that's absolutely fine, because I know that all the other films are great and they're all deserving. But, I'm very nervous and fingers crossed. I really, really hope MAKI makes top 5.
If your film makes it to top 5, what impact do you hope it will have on viewers?
Let's start with me.
Let's start with them.
Thank you.
Wow.
You thought you escaped, right?
Okay, one impact I would say is, for me, men, watch your actions. They have consequences.
Okay. It's written that down. All right. Blue.
If it makes it to the top 5, I guess it's the top 5 that we get to show the film.
Yeah,
Okay.
How do you think it will impact your viewers? What message do you think?
They're going to get the message of the film. That one for sure. And I know that they will, because a lot of audience have seen it, because they did some festivals, and the reactions are almost the same, because it's obviously a flip into what we know as normal. So I'm expecting that it doesn't change, and when they watch the film, it will provoke thoughtful conversation and shift mindset. That is always there's not one gender, there's two gender, and everybody can be happy if we understand both.
All right, like I said earlier, I said the film is about how words and actions shapes the mind of a child. So I hope that the audience learn that what they say and the ones they don't say will affect the child. The actions that they eventually make and the ones they don't do will eventually affect the child. So this whole film is just about words and actions and how it shapes the mind frame of a child. That's it.
So if my film makes it to the top 5, I'd like the impact for it to have on the wider audience to be kind of the message that I was trying to tell with the story. To me, the story overall is about faith and about how the faith you put in belief systems or moral decisions can affect the choices you make in life. So I'd hope that people would look at this film and maybe evaluate their own faith and whether they're sort of following their own faith, whether that's religious or their moral, ethics, and to really question, what's important to them in life, rather than thinking about their own sort of selfish needs.
I am hoping that my film gets to the top 5, and I'm optimistic that it's going to win big. And even if it does not win big, I am sure that those who are going to watch the film are going to really, really see that, yes, this is new and this is daring. Why I say that is, in Nollywood, most of times our films are like in linear languages. It's just straight market language, which is fine, which depicts reality. But the truth is, we're also intelligent people. We are people that speak intelligibly. So I wanted this script to have that intelligent factor in it. I wanted my audience to have something to think about as they watch, to also think, to interpret what the characters are saying, because sometimes they speak figure of speech, and it requires you to think to understand what they're saying. So this is what I was hoping to achieve with the dialogues of the film.
So in creating MAKI, I really just wanted people to have very thought-provoking conversations, especially conversations around religion, family dynamics, love. I really just wanted people to think more deeply about how religion affects our daily lives, and also the impact of our parents in our lives. So I really just wanted people to have thought-provoking conversations and really just think deep about the choices they make and why they're making those choices. Yeah, that's why I made the film.
I wanted to really touch on the audience in terms of how they see themselves through the characters. My character, Shane Lucas, and his personal obstacle that he has to overcome with what he did with the past and his past. And the audience, I wanted the audience to feel this sense of surrealness, whether it was through the cinematography, because that for me was something that was important in terms of the dreamy sequence, the dreamy feeling that I wanted to portray, kind of like another life that we all have experienced sometimes, right?
To the viewers now, are you going to get just to watch an interesting piece of art that was taken time to produce? Yeah, it will be a nice experience. You'll see the creative juices of my team and everybody that was part of the film, you know, from the cast, the crew, everybody that took their time to be part of this creative story. You get a chance to watch a very unique piece of art.
How important do you think a platform like the Film Joint and an initiative like the Filmjoint Premieres is on emerging filmmakers?
Answer that question.
No, you want to answer first.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
I think it was last week. I've had this conversation so many times with my filmmaker friends. I say, you all agree with me that we don't have a platform we don't have a market for short films yet in Nigeria. No. So we don't have a market for short films yet. And I believe the absence of this market for short films has actually pushed so many people to make stupid feature films. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Let's write that down.
So, because the fact that they feel like, okay, how am I going to make my money? How am I going to see my films? Okay, if I make a feature film, they'll see it. If I make a feature film, I'll make my money. So now what Filmjoint is doing is, you guys don't know what you're doing. It's so big, it's so good, it's going to save us from watching some stupid feature films. And it's going to give emerging filmmakers a voice and the opportunity to show, not only to show what they can do, but to grow. Because basically, short films, it's an avenue for you to grow, to improve your craft as a filmmaker. So when people keep shying away from it because we don't have a market for it, it doesn't make sense. So what Filmjoint is doing is encouraging filmmakers, young filmmakers, emerging filmmakers to make more short films, good ones, and to grow as filmmakers. So indirectly or directly, you don't know you are affecting the film industry, not the short film industry, the feature film industry. You are saving us from some things. Do you understand? Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Honestly, I absolutely love Filmjoint as an entity because of what they're doing for indie filmmakers. It's not easy to get financing for your film by yourself. It's not easy to think about concepts, and just having a platform that recognizes that effort, the effort that indie filmmakers make every single time to produce great work. It's not easy, but having such a platform that recognizes that puts indie filmmakers on the map, and then gives indie filmmakers the opportunity to share their craft, share their story, and share their talent with the world is absolutely amazing. And also, like what Filmjoint is doing now with the Filmjoint Premieres, I think is absolutely amazing. A lot of indie filmmakers, of course, we hope that our films would be shown on the big screen, but then having platforms like the Filmjoint Premieres to actually, champion that and then make it possible for indie filmmakers to actually see their stories, see their films on the big screen. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I think we're very, very thankful. And, I really do hope that they continue to keep on the good work.
So I think platforms like the Film Joint are really important for up-and-coming filmmakers like myself. I think even though short films are well known amongst the filmmaking community, your general average cinema goer might not even know that short films exist or where to find them. So I think it's important that short films are introduced to a wider audience so that more people could see our work, and that, short films are a great stepping stone to bigger jobs. So if we can get our short films seen by a wider audience, that can only be good for advancing our filmmaking careers.
I feel like platforms such as the Film Joint is an aid to emerging filmmakers and independent filmmakers, because we often do not have the budget for marketing and distribution. So this kind of expose brings us to the limelight. Thank you so much.
I believe that Filmjoint Premieres are screenings of short films around, different African cinemas and all that. So it helps put our works out there for people to see them, and also for people to get to understand that there are young filmmakers, emerging filmmakers like us here. After your film being selected, you can now also get a chance to talk to other producers now who are more established into the industry. You can now pitch for better deals now. You can pitch for better projects to different film production houses and all that, because you have gotten a chance for your film to be watched and screened in a bigger market. Yeah, so it's really a good initiative, and I urge you people to just continue it, because you're really giving us chance and helping us tap into all these film markets to make us better filmmakers.
So for me, I would say platforms like this give us hope. And as a young filmmaker, like we all call ourselves, I would say that it is pushing us to continue to do more short films, because we tell ourselves like we all want to make money back regardless of how much we put into anything that we do, right? And knowing that platforms like this can sort of help us to distribute our films is a really beautiful thing. And that's why I said this is a hope we need.
They literally said so many things that I feel like I share in that chain of thoughts. One thing I'm actually also very excited about is, I think it's the second year.
Yes.
So I'm glad that there's continuity, because it shows that, okay, then there's a direction that we're going rightly with. When you like you were saying when we were discussing earlier, that there's so many festivals, film festivals, and maybe other sort of festivals are kind of like premieres too, but the short film do not take the center stage. It's like, okay, we have the opening film, we have the closing film, and then what side attraction? We have some short films, But with Film Joint, short films are taking the center stage, and they get the chance. And when you're making films as a filmmaker, you want people to see the film. When you make film as a filmmaker, you want people to see the film you're making. It's not supposed to just end up in the hard drive, yeah? And maybe at the point we wanted you to, but you don't get more than 3 views or 5 views if you don't have a pre-out strategy.
You and your family members
watch
it.
Yeah. And of course, you don't even have the fund. You now go, okay, should I now premiere? You see a feature film get released, you get premiere, like, oh, but you have a short film, you can't do all those. You don't even have the money. You didn't even have the money to make the film.
You know what to premiere.
Now you're not talking about premiere. And then you get it by that, okay, I wish you guys can do more than 5, eventually as the brand grows. But to get the fact that, oh, my feature film get to be seen by more people, and it gets the whole premiere energy. Because you see, for a film, it's not just making a film, people watching it. As filmmakers, especially those that feel the same way I feel, we like the paparazzi, we like the festival runs, we like the laurels, we like the premiere, we like the red carpet. And when you now have all those and the short film is center stage, you feel like, damn, now I have to make another one. You don't feel like, oh, Like I remember my short film, people have been saying, oh, so when is your next feature? And I have not really been thinking about it because I still have like 5 short films I still want to make, you know, and I don't want to feel like, oh, you're not moving in the right direction if you think you're still just making short films. You know, I want to feel like if now I can grow, if now I can concentrate on growing, and there are platforms like this that can allow me to distribute, allow people to see it, not even make money yet, see it so that I can know how to know where I can direct my growth to. Then I feel like, okay, yeah, great. So I'm really happy for Filmjoint, and I'm also happy for the continuity.
All right. Thank you. Just to put it out there, the difference between festivals and the Filmjoint Premieres is that in festivals you have different films, feature-length films, and then we slot in the short film, and people decide if they want to come watch these short films or not. But for premieres, for the Filmjoint Premieres, what we are trying to do is to transfer the tradition that we have for feature films, where we premiere the feature films and people come in grand style, people wear their best dresses and they take pictures and have fun. We want to transfer that same tradition to short films. And we feel like when we do this, that people will then see that, okay, short films have some higher value and people place more importance on short films. And like Blue said, short films take center stage. And that's what we aim in Filmjoint. So back to the question, what are your thoughts on the concept of short films being distributed in cinemas and various platforms, similar to feature films that are traditionally distributed? I'm sure, like from the answers you gave, you already given some snippets, but if you just have any other thing to say, anybody from any of you to add, anything to add?
So for me, I would say that this would encourage a lot of filmmakers to make short films. It would encourage us to want to try our hands first on doing it small before we go big to the feature film, and also get better at our skills. So the idea is perfect because this would actually help a lot of us get better before we get to the feature film stage.
To be fair, not to, because most times filmmakers we only think about ourselves. To be fair to the audience, no one want to pay so much money just to watch for 30 minutes cinema experience. So that's the reason why feature films I don't think feature films have any superiority to short film. It's just time. And when you're spending like 7,000 naira, 5,000 naira, you want to enjoy it. If you're there with your baby, you want to feel like whatever. You know, you want to have, I don't want to, and you also don't want to watch a 15-minute film like, and that's it. That is it, no, you've scammed me. So I guess it's just, I don't think feature films are superior to short films. It's just they have more time for you for the entertainment, the enjoyment and whatever, So I don't know if I'm like a prophet of doom, but I don't really think, don't let me say that. But if short films ever make that type of money that feature film makes, it's definitely not going to be from everyday people paying for it, if we're being honest.
But you don't think eventually, and the way markets work is when there is high demand for something and where the market is saturated with it, supposed price of that thing would reduce, and so it becomes more available to more people. It's the same way you have a new technology, for example, maybe only the elites or the people that are rich can afford it. But when it's now, affordable, where it's everywhere, eventually gets to everybody. And personally, I think it's not something that might happen now, but maybe eventually, in the future, it will become, really accessible to everyone. I think it's the same thing that happened with cinema. I don't think it was really accessible to everybody. I can remember growing up, I don't know, maybe I was poor, but growing up, going to the cinema was something that we look forward to when we are going for birthdays and stuff. But I can remember in the university, I used to walk from Unilag to Ozone to watch film. Like it was like water after some time. So I think I think that's something that we're looking forward to in the nearest future.
I don't want to be prophet of doom. So you are doing good. You are doing great. But we need to also just see the reality between. Okay, if short film gets so commercialized, does it take away from what a short film is? Because now, it's of you as a director to think about building a style and just giving authenticity. You start thinking of, I need to make money, and then you start to reduce, because short film gives you freedom, like total creative freedom. You're not thinking about, is this commercial? But I believe that there's no system that cannot be monetized if it's well done. You're correct. The cinema, whatever. If it's well monetized, the audience will come. And then you'll be able to, because people just want to know that they can get certain things sturdily, just in case they've already build an appetite for it.
Okay. I think that's something to note. When it's eventually supposedly like commercialized, does it water down that value that we're even in fact trying to? I think that's a very great one. So thank you very much.
Short films have a place even in cinema distributions and some major platforms. I have seen an anthology on Netflix where like 5 to 7 short films were brought together with the same theme, and because they were all brought together, it made the feature length duration. It met that requirement, and it was uploaded as a feature length film. So I feel like if short filmmakers could team up to make films of the same theme or the same idea, I think it can qualify as a feature-length film. So I feel like it can still go on platforms such as cinemas for distribution.
So yeah, I think the concept of short films being distributed in cinemas is really exciting. I think there's nothing like going to the cinema and really being immersed in that cinematic experience. So if we can get more short films in the cinema and really create a buzz and a demand for the audiences to see short films, then that can only be a positive thing.
And if your film can be seen on a cinema screen, it's even better, because watching something you've made with an audience really is the best thing in the world. I think watching things in the cinema is the best way to see shorts or feature films.
It's really a good thing for short films to also get a chance to be seen in cinemas, because I don't know what happens in other film spaces, but where I come from, you find that the best films that are produced in the market of Uganda are short films. But there's a way people perceive short films. They feel like they are basically student films, yet they also take time and creativity, for their execution. So I feel like it's a very good thing for people to take time to appreciate the time that we put in, the execution, all the elements that we put in to make sure that these films are done. Because they're not just short films, but they are films that are being produced here in Africa. And I feel like they can also add a stone onto the African film market.
I think that it's an opportunity that cinemas are missing out on. I see no reason why short films aren't showing at cinemas. And of course, I do understand the arguments that, but it's a short film. Yeah, but like, what indie filmmakers are doing with short films, it's an opportunity to showcase art in the most purest form, right? It's an opportunity to explore cinematic creativity in all the possible ways. Like, I think that is something that we should look into, and I think that there's an opportunity there. And who says that you need to show just one short film at a point, right? You can show 5 at a stretch. You can show 10, right? Like, just giving, indie filmmakers, giving short films a chance. I think that it's something that, needs to be looked into. And I think that there's a great opportunity there, because short films give filmmakers the opportunity to explore in the most amazing ways, right? Also, just support indie filmmakers. I think that's the most important thing, support. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think that it should be looked into even more. Yes.
Last but not least, if you could describe your film in 3 words, what would they be? So I'll go with Korede first.
Don't go with me.
If I could sum the film up in 3 words, it would be dark, satirical, and surreal.
It is intelligent, it is fresh, and it is engaging.
So if I could describe JUJUMAN in 3 words, I would use cultural, dramatic, and powerful.
Epic, intriguing, captivating is how I can describe my film. Yeah, thank you so much. Sande sana.
3 words.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, God.
Can I help you?
Help me.
Words are powerful.
Ha! Jesus! This man made my film. That was good. Thank you. You're done.
Okay, so you can say it. You can say it.
Okay, I want to say it.
Yeah, say it.
Okay. Action. All right, let's work. We good? Words are powerful. That's all. 3 words.
3 words. All right. So let's Dami, 3 words for you.
Good ask for help too.
Actions have consequences.
Jesus.
I think my if I was to give my own 3 words is men beware. Look, that's 2 words. All right.
So wait, is it supposed to be a sentence or like?
You can make it. You can do what you want with it. You can.
Okay, so I'll say mine. Tell me what your own 3 words.
Okay.
I always like getting preview for my films. All right. So artistic, thought-provoking, and experimental.
That's it.
Well, what will I give? What will I give? Man and Masquerade. I'll say.
Masquerade is 300.
I feel like Masquerade has to be one of the words, so I'm trying to. I think.
It's okay. You don't have
Juju.
Calabar.
Is that 3 words?
3 syllables.
In 3 words. I think number 1 would be thought-provoking. Number 2 would be daring. And number 3 would be engaging. I think those words perfectly describe MAKI. And I can't wait for you all to watch it.
All right, thank you guys for joining us at this roundtable. We had fun with our filmmakers here, and I can see that we really have a bright future for filmmaking in Nigeria.